there, YouTube? I'm back again today for another Kickstarter critique where I take a look at a different Kickstarter project every single time and give my honest thoughts on how that project is being ran. So if you enjoy that kind of weird, wild content, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below as I'm trying to reach 9,000 subscribers this year, celebrate my 9-year anniversary. But right now, I'm very, very excited to be talking about the 13th most popular project on all of games right now. That is Get Bit, the remastered classic shark attack game. And so this is a classic family game that used to be from Mayday Games. I'm guessing they sold the rights to them. So this is a remastered version of it. So I need to come into it from a very different perspective. And it just launched today. It's hit 3,700, so it's not funded yet, but it did just launch a couple hours ago. The remastered classic shark attack game by Dave Chalker. Get Bit is a competitive party game for 2 to 6 players where you're racing friends against a pointed tooth. So I find it interesting that they spotlighted that it is a party game. I've never really thought of it as a party game, but yeah, it's certainly, you know what, I take that back. I probably have played it as a party because it's so light, so simple, it's so gateway that, true story, it was one of the most popular games I had in my classroom. So if you're not familiar, I used to work in a classroom for 10 years, and this, without a doubt, is one of the most popular games I had with the kids that I work with, especially the 3 to 5-year-olds. They absolutely adored Get Bit. So I'm very excited about this one. I hope it does really, really well. As always, when I go into the video, I'm thinking 3 things. Do I want it? Can you do it? How much is it? Let's go. Okay. What? Oh, they're showing us gameplay, kind of. Whoa, that was actual product, not waterproof. Oh, is that the components? Like the actual, okay. Huh. Wow. Let me know what you think about that video in the comments down below. Because I don't feel sold. Here's the thing. This is going to be a hard sell, this general product, because I feel like a lot of people already have Get Bit. I talked to Seth from Mayday Games quite a few times, and I believe I remember that Get Bit is an evergreen for them. That Get Bit, because it was on tabletop, it's so easy to learn, it's so easy to teach it. It's such a fun game that you're essentially trying to get people to replace their old copy of Get Bit. And that's going to be a tall task. And while that video I thought was unique and clever, and it was cool how you interweaved the song with the animation, but it didn't make me say, oh yeah, I need to get this version. My version of Get Bit is obsolete. Which I think is probably what you want to try and do. Because the way I see it, there's 2 ways to approach this project. There's either wow people so much and say, you gotta get the new version of Get Bit. It's the definitive, it is the best version. Or completely lean into the people who don't have Get Bit and say, oh my gosh, we got the new remastered version of it. You've heard about it. Maybe you've played it, but now there's a better version of it and you need to own this version of it. I think one of those 2 routes would have been a great way to go, and I don't feel like they did either one of those. Instead, just kind of making it look like its own separate thing. So I'm very interested to see how this turns out, because I really want to see this succeed. I will say, though, I don't feel like... I don't know, because that video, once again, kind of screamed kids game to me, which it is. It's a fantastic kids game. It's a fantastic family game. But to call it a party game, I don't know. So, anywho, 16 created, 28 back, greater than games. Can you do it is a really easy one here. And we have 1 collaborator here, so we should have some good customer service in the updates in the comments. But let's check this out. Make sure, so how many games do they have outstanding? Let's see if the Spirit Island expansion is in. So this one was canceled. Laser Riders, I do know that one is out. Because I remember my buddy demoed that one at Gen Con. So we're just making sure this isn't a flaming dumpster fire here in the comments in the chat. This is our final update for Spirit Island. It's been a momentous journey. We cannot thank you enough for going on the adventure with us and helping us. So yes, this is out. It is done. Awesome. So we have Sentinel Comics. And so at the most, it looks like they have 2 outstanding, and this is a role-playing game, so that's a whole different beast. But anywho, I feel like we can pretty much skip this. Greater Than Games, as far as I know, has a very good track record, and they only have at most, I think, 2 games outstanding, so yes. Can they do it? Yes, I feel comfortable with that. As far as I know, has a very good track record. So do I want it? No, I'm not convinced yet. Can you do it? Absolutely. How much is it? Hopefully we don't beat around the bush, we get right down to a price, especially with, I'm assuming, it's going to be, I don't feel like there's going to be too many pledge levels over here. I imagine maybe there's this version and then like a super deluxe one which has expansion content or something like that. But just, I would get down to the price, you know what? Because I imagine this is going to have a very appealing price. Dive into it, get bet. Sand waves and a sunny day. What a beautiful day at the beach. You and your friends dive in deep for a bit of summer fun. What a better way to enjoy the cool, refreshing ocean that is. So I'm not the biggest fan of the direction that they're taking this, because this is a beloved game. I'm sure there are quotes upon quotes upon quotes from people who are in... Oh, that was cool. That are just like, this is amazing. This is one of the best family games I've ever played. It's spectacular. Because I can tell you right now, this... Oh, okay. Anywho. So we're talking about the game. Gaming Friends to Get Busy is easy to dive right into. Each player selects a swimmer, and so now we're going into the weeds about how the game works. Okay. That's... Okay. It's fine. So now we're talking about the components. 1 rulebook, 6 different swimmers, 42 cards, and 1 shark. And we don't even get to see it sprawled out. Like if you have, it looks like you have the components. Oh, so it is. This is the sprawled out view. Okay. I would put the price on there, especially if it's reasonable. So yeah, $19. That's it. I would slap that right at the front door. $19, the new version of GetBit. Because here's the bottom line: if you don't have GetBit, you probably, if you're in the hobby, have heard of GetBit. And you're saying, wow, $19. That's really reasonable. I've heard about this. I've heard a lot of people like this game. And for $19 on Kickstarter, you're really going to think twice when you think about a game that you know a lot of people like, especially when I tell you you can play it with a 3-year-old, no problem. Because that's one of my favorite aspects about this game. I'm going to try and sell you this game right now because I love it so much. This is one of the rare games where you can play it with very, very young children, and they can just randomly pick cards, and they still have a decent chance to win, and they get to see themselves succeed because of how the game works. But there still is a fun level of strategy to this game, and it's such a damn good game, and I'm a little bit disappointed with the Kickstarter layout so far. I feel like it's not doing the game enough service. So then we have the core game and the expansion, $5. Awesome. What's the expansion? Why do I need it? GetBit Feeding Frenzy, the Shark expansion, brings all new elements to the classic GetBit gameplay and making the Shark a playable character. Players use items to have been... So, and here's the thing, and this is what I'm talking about with that main video. I feel like the route here would have been to talk about just how beloved the game is, and then, but we have added on to it. So there's a whole extra layer that you can add onto it, and your children can grow with this game. You know, and that's because I see all this text on these cards and I say, what? What text on cards in GetBit? Color me intrigued. And I want to know as a gamer, because I already know I could play GetBit with my game night. We'd have fun. It's a little bit lighter than my game night is typically used to, but it's still going to be a good time and no one's going to be like, and so I just feel like the cutesy cartoon is cool. It's well done, but I don't know if it's necessarily the play here when you have a game that's so beloved. Because I'm going to make a bold prediction and say if this, and hopefully you mentioned this, can I just buy this $5 pack? If I already have GetBit, does this play well with that? And I really hope it does. Bring all new elements to the classic GetBit gameplay by making Shark a playable character. Players can use that item that have been lost at sea to get away from the Shark, or at least get away from the other players. Note, the pledge level includes an error. They list Gold Shark Miniature as a reward, but there's no such thing as a Gold Shark. To learn more about this mistake, check out this update. Oh, no, but you just launched hours ago, so someone missed something. I will applaud them for getting on that early, and here's the bottom line. They can't do anything about it. This is the best solution aside from relaunching. Because once anyone backs one of those pledge levels, they are locked in place. You can't touch them, you can't modify them, you can't do anything. But we'll get to the updates later. Either way, I like the fact that it's clickable, and it's right there, so you wouldn't be disappointed. Okay. Adding the Shark to the game unlocks a 7th player. You play as the Terminator of the Sea, chasing down the swimmers and trying to devour them. That's awesome, and that's also another really awesome selling point that I would have already mentioned by now. that this now can go up to 7 with someone playing the shark, especially with the massive success that Jaws had from Ravensburger. That's a much beloved game, and people definitely seem to be digging the whole sharks eating people thing. I mean, they had that Man-Eater video game last year. That's all in the rage. So I might mention that right from the jump, right from the offset up in here. Get Bit is a competitive party game for 2 to 6 players. Like, I feel like most people know about Get Bit. I would somehow spotlight in that main image that now with new gameplay and mechanisms, because it is remastered. It sounds like the expansion is what they remastered, but I would also mention specifically in there, right there in this section, can I just buy this pack of cards? And will it play with mine? So hopefully they cover that. Don't leave that in the FAQ. That's, oh my god, there's 20 questions in the FAQ. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right. Swimmers, however, get some extra help by picking up one of the items lost at sea. So that's cool. Let's talk about the expansion. So add-ons, the core game plus the expansion, odd, and then the sleeves. Oh, so if you want to do combined shipping. Okay, got it. That's also nice. Need an extra copy of the core game or expansion? Look no further. Plus, there's the option of 1 pack of standard card sleeves. That's enough sleeves for 100 cards. Okay. Want to make sure you have enough sleeves for your full order? Be sure to keep in mind that Get Bit base game has 42 cards and the Shark Friends expansion has 15. History of Get Bit. Get Bit has been bringing fun to the table for over decades. So now we're talking about the quotes. We here at Greater Than Games are honored to have the opportunity to work with game designer Dave Chalkin to improve art components and mechanics of the game. And so that's, I feel like, it was really the route of this video. And what could have potentially been is, you know, we absolutely love Get Bit. And when we got the opportunity to have Get Bit be in our library, we immediately reached out to Dave Chalker to see if there was any stone left unturned on this game, because we wanted to do some true fan service to the game of Get Bit, because we know it has just such an endearing legacy and really has, brought a lot of new people into the hobby with it being on tabletop. And so we wanted to make this the definitive version of Get Bit that you absolutely need to have. And even if you don't want the upgraded, components and whatnot we did, you can still get the new content that was created by Dave Chalker as this standalone item, which is down here. Like, I feel like something like that would have went a long way to making this more appealing to people who already have Get Bit. But once again, that's if these two can play together, which I should know by now. Get Bit is bringing fun to the table. So the game is super easy to set up and learn, which makes it perfect for children or players new to gaming. It also plays quickly, so if you get eliminated from the game, you don't feel too bad and can rejoin a new game fairly quickly. Okay, I wouldn't say that's a banger of a quote, but that's a great 6th or 7th quote. Get Bit Deluxe is a great game to bring out and play with the family or with friends. I bring it to the office too, and it always draws a crowd. So that is just, you're just telling me it's a gateway game. Okay. And once again, I'm not putting that on Father Geek. I'm picking on the quotes they chose to use, because I feel like there's probably better quotes out there. And not to mention, like, I'm sure Board Game Geek. I thought Dan King was the Board Game Geek. What? So, he's the Game Boy Geek. Wait, Board Game Geek's a website. I don't know what the hell's going on. All right, very kid appropriate and rated only 10 to 20 minutes per game. Get Bit is a hilarious game that incorporates. So we got some quotes here. Okay. I say go buy this game. Why? Because it's different. It's fun. Why not have a gameplay video? That's the other thing too, especially with the new components. If you have them, and even if you don't have them, if it's still the exact same game, because it looks like it's the same game, but the expansion adds different things. Like, this looks like the exact same game with just different artwork. Is that what it is? Because I need to know if I'm going to buy the. So here we go. So what was the shipping? I skipped right past it. So this is a really interesting one. All right, shipping. Where is it? Oh, it's an ugly shipping section. So it's functional, but it's just, we all like the pictures. The pictures are really nice. They're industry standard for a reason. But that being said, this looks completely functional. So how is the game going to get you? Special shark couriers, robots, well, maybe a few robots, but most by the way, of various parcel couriers. What do we know for sure? We will be handling most of the fulfillment internally for this, which means logistical issues are less likely to crop up. However, that doesn't mean we're entirely in the clear. The past year and a half has been rough for every industry, and especially demanding on getting everything anywhere. Prices are at an all-time high, and timelines at historic lengths. Get Bit is going to you in the most cost-effective and efficient way possible. What does that mean? Lower the shipping charges for this campaign. We'll be charging shipping after the campaign via backer to ensure we can accurately charge shipping based on reward levels and add-on, which is now the new industry standard, because, you could completely tank your company if you screw up that shipping section, which is... It's scary. It's scary to think about it. You say, really? And it's like, yeah, if there's like a $6 difference on, 2,000 games, it can make a lot and make a big difference. So, the first number is the base shipping price for a pledge level. The second number is the additional shipping charge for each additional copy of Get Bit. There is no additional shipping charge for Get Bit, the feeding frenzy. Awesome. Love that. So this is clear. I will say this is clean and clear. As much as I like a sexy picture, I think this looks good. USA, so $8. So $8 to ship it. That's a medium flat rate. Flat rate padded shipping envelope. I find that reasonable. Canada, once again, that's about the price for a medium flat rate padded shipping envelope. Zone A, Zone B, Zone C. 29, 49, 69. Ow. Yeah, that's probably going to be, that's owies. That's owies. And I understand that shipping sucks. But yeah, that's pretty much just going to eliminate everyone except for USA and Canada, which might explain why this isn't launching off, because you are right now omitting half the world. And here's the thing. I sound like a jerk for saying it, but other people are not doing this with similar size boxes. So it's on you. And I mean, like, I don't know how else to put that. Like, other companies, I do these every single day, and I don't see these prices this super high for a game that's, you know, this small. Which, I mean, maybe going back to the drawing board on how you're doing the international shipping, because that's really going to cut into a huge chunk of profit. Because 50% is the United States of America, and then, yeah, so here we go. I have 141 U.S. and Canada. Everywhere else, get bent. And how much money is being left on the table because of that? Let's see. And 0 new backers. This is all returning backers. So once again, put it into that from what I said right at the beginning. I would market this in one of two ways. Either this is going to be so spectacular that you need to have it over the original version, or hey, have you heard about this? Of course you've heard about this. Now you need to get it. And these numbers kind of say that. You know, returning backers, 152 people. These were already people who are in the board gaming hobby, who are in the know. You're not bringing new people to Kickstarter specifically for this game. At least not with however you're marketing it. And I don't know how that's going. Overall, we were confident this year, and so does this cover the VAT as well? The zones is here based on, well, I don't even need to go. Like, you're probably not going to get it after you see that price. Do you really care about it at this point? Are you like, if you're in Zone B, or you're like, well, I do need to know, am I going to pay the VAT after I've already paid double the cost of the game? Do you know it's not even double? It's, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for everyone in other. You are literally paying 3.5 times the game. Oh, man, that's so rough. And Brazil, Cuba, North Korea, Russian. Oh, Afghanistan, you can get your games, though. Okay, because I've seen 2 now that didn't have Afghanistan. But anywho, long-lasting design. What the hell is this? Environmental commitments, whatevs. Okay, so let's check out how this is going. $19, the Get Bit, just the core game, 3 people. Okay. Just wanting the expansion, 136 people. So these are 136 people who most likely want to get into the Get Bit universe. And it's mind-boggling to me that nowhere in that entire video did you talk about backwards compatibility. When you factor in that Get Bit has probably sold tens of thousands of copies, you know, which in our hobby is huge. Huge. This is an evergreen game, people. This is a game that has sold lots and lots of copies. And so I feel like the most obvious question is, if I just want the expansion, is it backward compatible? And I don't see that answer here. And that's like that. Hopefully that's in the FAQ, because I imagine that's one with a bullet. How many cards? And once again, this is what happens when you have so much in the FAQ. I don't even want to go through it. How many cards does the game contain? Why? Who's asking that? What can you tell us about the sleeves offered? Well, it's on the story. How do I contact you if so they're going to say ship. They're going to say, please email us. Don't contact us in the updates or comments. And no one has. Wow. And I know this just launched a couple hours ago, but can you see the excitement in the comments section? 0. This is a beloved game getting an expansion. Think about it from that perspective. This is a much beloved game getting an expansion, and there's no buzz here. 0 comments. What order are you going to do fulfillment in? Okay. Will Get Bit and the expansion be available in retail? Yes, of course it will. What information do I need to provide to backer kit? Once the backer kit is locked, how do I update my address? So these are questions that, once again, you have 170 something people who are Kickstarter users. It's just, can I ship to a PO box? Will I get tracking information? Code number of copies. Will be charged any additional shipping fee? So I'm looking for one thing, and I don't even see it in here. Is paying for charges back in countries with European Free Trade Association. So this is the VAT question. No. These will... So, oh my gosh, you are going to get jammed by the VAT and the prices are that extreme? Oh no! What have you done to get bit? This is... So no one outside of the United States of America and Canada is going to buy this. Because, well, greater than games pay for additional import fees or duty after the... No. Get bent. How is VAT being charged for internet? How am I being charged shipping? So it doesn't even... Like, how is that... That's so obviously the most... The question on everyone's mind. And I wonder, I would wholeheartedly, if it is, in fact, something that I can play with the original Get Bit, add that pledge level, just the $5, $6, whatever it may be. If you got the original Get Bit, just want to try out the new content, don't mind how it looks different, yada, 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 covered up with our card sleeves. There you go, covered up with our sleeves. First, welcome to the all-new, all-different Get Bit Kickstarter campaign. What does that mean? All new, all different Get Bit. So is it all new? It doesn't feel like all new. It feels like the same game. It feels like the same game, the exact same game, but with different artwork and components, but with a all new expansion. It's honestly so great to have you all here. Firstly, we'd like to thank you all our backers for making such a splash. You knocked it out of the water with 18% funded, 136 backers in just over 2 hours. Wow. Okay. Now that we have you here, let's talk a little bit about what you can expect from this Kickstarter. This is a fairly short campaign, only running for 2.5 weeks. So, okay, that's... I mean, I see 10-day campaigns all the time, so I don't know if that's... What do you consider to be a short campaign and a fairly short campaign? That sounds like a poll question. So we're packing a lot of cool reveals in a relatively short amount of time. We've got multiple updates planned, including... so you talked about reveals, and now you're talking about updates. Okay. That gets me excited. Once again, that's the kind of information that should be in your story, that should be in your video, that's going to get me pumped, that's going to get the people excited about this so we come back. Because how many people read the updates? You know, and I did a poll on that one too. Designer Diary with game designer Dave Chalker. Okay, so we're going to talk about the game. Cool. In a week? A week? So there's going to be radio silence, like next to nothing for a week. Ugh. A closer at the all-new Feeding Frenzy Shark expansion. Okay, so I think the word look is missing there. But that's terrible. No! No! Why do I have to wait 9 days to know about what I'm buying? What? That should be front and freaking center. That should be one of the pillars that you're basing this entire Kickstarter off. Let me know if you disagree with that basic notion. But no. There's no gameplay video. There's no how to play video. There's no just here's how you play the original one if you want to know how. Like, none of that is here. Designer Diary with the artist. Okay, that's cool. That's a good thing to have. Talking to the artist about the artwork. But, like, I just need some more information. Wrap up, thanks yous, and the plan moving forward. So, so there's going to be reveals, but I have to watch these. And potentially more, time will tell. We've got a few little details to cover, so let's get started. In case you didn't see on the front page, we're doing shipping a little differently for this campaign. We'll be charging shipping post-campaign via backer cake to make sure we get everything right. The last year and a half have shown how volatile pretty much every part of the industry is, especially the transport aspect, so we want to make sure we're either charging too much or too little for shipping. That said, we also put in the shipping section on the main page. Okay. I don't feel like anyone's batting an eye at your U.S. shipping. Like, no one's like, oh my gosh, $8. No, everyone's batting everyone is not batting an eye. They're shitting a bat. At the international shipping, which is just, it's atrocious. It's atrocious. I'm making up words. It's so sad because I love Get Bit. I was really hoping to see this just be like, oh, an amazing project. Finally, onto a more pressing issue. We made a mistake. Whoops. When we were planning this campaign, we initially wanted to include a metallic gold shark as a fun reward for all of our great backers. Unfortunately, at the last minute, we found out from the factory that metallic figures, gold or otherwise, require a high pollutant process of electroplating. Protecting our planet's resources is crucial. Okay. That... I would almost relaunch just at that. Like, just say, oops, whoops, we made a huge, crucial mistake. Relaunching in 2 hours kind of thing. Because then it's just nobody even knows about the mistake. You don't have to put this way too early update. Because let's be honest, that mistake is most likely what forced their hand to making this update. Which sucks. But what does that mean for you? No Gold Shark, we know it's terribly disappointing to not get the shiny. To make up for that, we have dropped our initial pledge levels from $25 and $30 to $19 and $24, respectively. Wow, so this was $25 and $30. Okay, so then we're talking about a $40 version nearly of Get Bit, and that's a bit much for 45 cards and 6 Legos. 7 Legos if you count the shark. That's, I think, okay. So, like I said, the $19 price point, though, I think is hot. And I think that should be a selling point. I think that's something you should be leaning on. We accurately updated the price of the pledge levels and made sure to scrub every mention of this environmentally dangerous gold shark from the campaign. Why not just relaunch and not mention the gold shark ever? Except we forgot to remove the words gold shark miniature from the pledge level themselves. Oh, they did. They did. Oh, no, sorry about that. And for the good reason, the Kickstarter back-end system, yep, we always appreciate all of our supporters. So, at the end of the day, I can say that this update it's hard to tell if this is going to be a good update because it doesn't have comments. And as I always say, that's the key. You get comments, you get engagement. That decides if something is a good update. You could write an entire book in an update, but if no one comments on it and it has, a couple likes, it's not going to tickle the Kickstarter algorithms, which is then going to move you up higher on the popularity chart. And so I can tell you that this is not going to have many people commenting on it because there's not anything for me as a backer to say here. Oops, we made a mistake. Our bad. Hey, we got some stuff planned. It's not until next week. Piss off. So what do I say to that? That's why you always end with a question. Any sort of question. When was the first time you played Get Bit? Or have you played the original? There's so many questions that you could ask just in not doing it is just... And that's why we have one comment here and 0 comments in the comments. Great respect that decision. Gold sharks are cool, but not ultimately important. Thanks for being a conscientious country. Also, it sounds weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just me being jaded and cynical. But it's just like, okay, the gold shark is not environmentally friendly. I don't know. And then no comments. So we have, okay, so what is my final grade on this campaign? Wow. This one hurts because I love Get Bit. I do. And so do I want it? Yes, I still do. In spite of everything. In spite of the fact that I don't actually know if I can play the expansion of my old version of the game, I still want the new version because I've had such amazing memories of Get Bit. I have literally played Get Bit with hundreds of children, and they've all loved it. Like, it's just such a great game. And so that's why it just irks me to see this Kickstarter in the condition it is, because I... absolutely having an extreme fondness for this game. Do I want it? Yes. But I need to look past my biases to the typical Kickstarter backer, and I don't think you did enough to convince anybody here. Which is sad. Let me know in the comments below, did they convince you? Are you now like, man, I wish I kind of want to get that. So do I want it? Not, I don't feel like they did the best job of it. Can you do it? Yes, 100%. How much is it? Awesome if you're in the United States of America, in Canada, anywhere else, absolutely atrocious, which means the final grade, I think, is a D. I think it's a D. I hate, who the hell thought it was a good idea to do this rating system? It's just so much easier. I used to go 0, 1, or 2, and now it's D. And to be honest, like, is it closer to D minus? Like, half the world. A decision that was made... And I understand that shipping is an absolute monster right now, but there's other games that are launching right now with larger boxes that are doing better with shipping, which means that there's something they're doing that you're not doing. And as someone from, I'm trying to put myself in someone in Alaska. Am I going to get this? Hell no. Not a chance. And so, yeah, I think D. I think it's a D, and I think that's a nice D. God, Get Bit, the remastered classic shark attack game. Not a fan of the Kickstarter page, but that being said, I still am very excited to see because maybe it's a D minus because I don't even know. Like I'm trying to redeem it right here, but I don't know what the hell the expansion even is. You told me a bit about it, but there's no gameplay video. Why isn't there? I gotta go D minus. Is this? If you don't appeal to half of the world, yes, I gotta go D minus. I gotta follow my heart. There's no gameplay video. No, D. We'll go D. Anywho, let me know what your grade is on this one, and also if you're cool enough to include your grade, let me know if you have much prior experience with Get Bit, because I feel like I want to be kind, because I know that this game is probably going to be spectacular, and so that at the end of the day, I would personally say that if you're in the United States of Canada and you haven't played Get Bit and you have children or you have family, or you're looking at this as a lighter weight party style game, not in the party game ilk, but in the kind of game that you could play at a party because it's so lightweight, so simple, it requires so little of your brain muscles, it has cool little mechanisms where, you know, people can be eliminated and somebody can easily just hand off their cards to somebody else and say, oh, do you want to play for me, Billy? And Billy can just jump right in. It's pretty much got jump in, jump out in that aspect. And so that's all great, but at the end of the day, this Kickstarter, I gotta give it a hard no. That is Get Bit, the remastered classic Shark Attack game. If you enjoy what I'm doing, please be sure to just leave some comments down in that. Tickle my YouTube algorithm. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. Bye-bye. Boop. Bop.